Okay.
There's 6 ways to adjust a shock. The first is preload, and that's actually the pressure that's put on the shock before any force is actually applied to it. So you can adjust that with a coil shock by tightening down on the thread so the shock is actually, there's already force applied and it's actually compressed. So that's the first one. That's preload. After that, that's compression, and that's how fast, the rate at which the shock will compress. And then also we have rebound, and that's how fast the shock will, after it's compressed, as how fast, the rate at which it will actually expand back to its original configuration. And then we have lockout. Not all shocks have lockout, but with the lockout, if you flip the lockout switch, it'll make it rigid so the shock won't compress at all. Not all shocks have this, but this is a good feature if you do a lot of cross-country riding. So when you're climbing, your shock isn't always going to be, using all of your energy. You're going to be able to use your energy to actually climb the hill instead of compress the shock. And then 2 more features are stable platform and also threshold. Stable platform is something that's rather new. It's only been out for probably 5 years. But stable platform, what it does is it makes it so that there's an inertia valve inside the shock. So the shock will only compress when forces from below actually activate the shock. So when you're on the bike and you're riding, because of your weight and however you move your body on the bike, it's not going to compress the shock. It's only going to be activated from bumps that you experience in the trail. And then the last thing is the threshold. And that's when you flip your lockout, threshold is the rate at which you can actually blow through the lockout. So if your bike's locked out, it's rigid, and you hit a bump, the threshold, the rate at which you adjust the threshold will make it so that you'll actually, the size of the bump, you can adjust it. So if you want to adjust for bigger bumps, if you only want to hit, let's say you go off a curb, then it'll actually activate the shock, and it won't stay locked out. So you can adjust the variability on that. So those are the 6 ways that you can adjust your shock. There's preload, compression, rebound, lockout, stable platform, and also a threshold adjustment. And that's for both coil and air shocks.